Hello everyone, my name is Jason and welcome back to this channel about magic! Today we've got a quick random question. What book has impacted you more than any other? Leave a comment below. I would be really excited to hear all the different kinds of books you guys will share. For me, I've got to cheat and give you two books. One is How to Win Friends and Influence People, because it taught me the value of listening to what other people have to say. You don't want to be that person just talking about themselves all the time. And my second book, well, you're gonna have to wait till after the reaction to hear my second book answer. Smash like for delayed gratification. And in today's reaction video, we are looking at Florian Sainvet, a magician from France. This is season 7 of Fool Us, the extension. And for those of you keen observers who've been subscribing to me for a while, you will realize that I've already reacted to him before when he was on America's Got Talent. Link up here somewhere if you'd like to check that out. Previously, he had performed a manipulation act involving basically CDs, or possibly DVDs. The world may never know. At any rate, that was a very cool performance, and I reached out to contact Florian and verified that this performance on Fool Us is not the same act. In fact, apparently this is the act he used to compete with and win FISM, which he called Robot Dream Act. Anyway, I made special care not to watch it ahead of time so that I can see it here on Fool Us for the first time. By the way, after the reaction video, Florian Sainvet has agreed to do an interview with me. If you haven't already seen, I've done 2 of these so far. It's like a reaction mini interview combined. So stay tuned for that after the reaction. And one last thing, I hate to blah 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 too long, but if you are enjoying these types of videos, these interviews, and you want to help support this channel, I've set up a Patreon. Please consider checking that out, link down below. There's also a few magic tutorials and some life updates on there as well. And now, let's go into the reaction.
Technology is so powerful. It can free us or it can make us slaves. I'm a graphic artist and magician. Working on a computer, you build entire worlds that seem real but don't exist. I do that with magic too. When I perform, it's like you are seeing one tiny piece of a science fiction universe. My girlfriend is a magician too. I think it makes other magicians a little bit jealous.
Leah Kyle!
With us, it's magic all the time. Personally and professionally, we make each other better. With a manipulation act like mine, there is much going on, you have many chances to be fuller. I think it sets me apart. I really hope to fool Penn and Teller.
First off, if you haven't seen the performance by Leah Kyle, his girlfriend, on Fool Us, that was really great as well. I already made a reaction to that, link up here somewhere in case you want to check it out. And secondly, I didn't realize that Florian was a graphic designer. That really kind of makes sense when you consider how visual his magic is. And I know all about what he means about creating stuff in a virtual world that doesn't actually exist. All my life has been on the computer. Gaming, programming, YouTube. All my life! And proceeding.
From our studio in Bordeaux, France, here's Florian Sainvet.
Powering up. Wow, those are some serious robot moves. Wow. I wonder if I can get him to teach me how to do the robot dance. That would be amazing. Pre-COVID routine. That was nice. Okay, I didn't see that at all. Another one. And it's multiple. Oh look, you can see the whole audience there and their hexagons, which tessellate. Thanks for telling me in the comments that they tessellate. Huh. What? Man, he is so fast. I am not seeing these things happen. It's just like, huh, pops in and out of existence. Uh-oh. Nice. He had an effect like that in his previous act with the CDs. Very cool. I like the concept. What is that? Almost looks like a little Eiffel Tower. Oh. What? How is that attached? This is awesome. I like this. His hands were clearly empty. Where is he getting those green coins from? Uh-oh. He just keeps doing it. That's crazy when he's showing fully the front and back of his hands. What? Oh, that's so nice. At first I thought he was going to do that leaning thing like Michael Jackson, but that's way better. That's super nice. Trying to break free of his programming. That might have done the trick. Yeah.
Florian Sainvet! Oh, welcome!
Thank you.
Very, very impressive.
Alright, I'll give you my thoughts real quick before we hear from Penn and Teller. Well, clearly, that was fantastic. You can understand how he got first place in FISM using that performance. I mean, A, he must be really good at dancing the robot and all these isolation type of moves. Something I've always wanted to learn, but haven't. And B, that's amazing how he integrated that into his manipulation performance, along with such a creative flair. Like, you can see all the stuff he just imagined, and because he's a graphic designer, he just made it into a reality. And furthermore, comparing this act with his America's Got Talent performance with the CD manipulation, and I'm not talking about 1% APY, if you can even get that anymore. I felt like on that one, 80% of the time I knew kind of what he was doing, even though I realized I couldn't do it myself. Whereas on this performance, I felt like 80% of the time I had no idea how he was doing it. Stuff is just blinking in and out of existence. Yeah, we can all be Mr. Wizard if we rewind and watch it again and put it in slow motion and etc. But just having watched it once the first time, which is how magic is intended to be experienced, as I always say, it's totally magical, mystifying, and fooling. Side note, I probably replaced the music he had in there originally to avoid copyright strikes, so if you want to see his performance with the original music, go ahead and check it out on Florian Sainvet's channel. And let's hear what Penn and Teller have got to say.
What inspired that work of art?
Many movies. I really like science fiction movies, so I watch every time movies and I put some ideas that I saw in movie in one act. And
Are you sending a message about technology?
maybe in the future technology can be stronger than us.
And you won the world championship with this?
Yes, in manipulation, yes, I did.
What dreams could you possibly dream after that?
Maybe full Penn and Teller.
Good answer, good answer. Okay, Florian, let's see if Penn and Teller know how you did your trick.
Hey, Florian, boy, we have never seen somebody that good who breaks that many rules of magic. And your whole costume lights up all over, floats in the air, does all this stuff. If you showed us this act on paper, we would have told you there was no chance of it being deceptive in any way, because when you've got those mechanical movements, you've got nothing to hide. You've got nothing natural, nothing to do. When you go, how can that misdirect? And yet it does completely. It made it just wonderful and very, very exciting all the way through. And this is what's called in the business a manipulation act. And the standard thing we say about a act is if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Well, if you've seen one, you certainly haven't seen Florian, that's for sure. I mean, the suit lighting up gives you a black art principle. There's all sorts of wonderful stuff going on all over that. You've justified this suit that can do miraculous things, both above board and below. And I just thought the whole act was great, but all built on stuff that we could kind of follow through. And I gotta tell you, I've never been more thrilled to follow through because it was working in ways that I would have thought impossible if you'd explained this act to me. But I don't think you fooled us.
Florian, do you agree? They know how you did your trick?
He talked about blackout, but blackout is just 10% of my act of how I do it. So
If you want, we can go to the judges. They've heard everything we've said. They know how you're doing it, and they can make a decision. Because I really don't want to. I've already said a little more than I want to say because the act is so good. So let's go to the judges, have them decide.
Okay, we're gonna go to the judges. And they're telling me, I'm sorry, Florian, it wasn't a fool, but it was a wonderful trick.
So
okay. Thank you very much.
good.
Thank
so
you
good.
so much. Florian Sainvet!
Okay, I'll give you my conclusionary thoughts. Is that a word? I don't know. That's a real shame he didn't get the Fool Us trophy. I thought he had so many things in there, at least one of those things would have qualified as fooling Penn and Teller. That's how I've seen them judge some other acts at any rate. Oh well. What's done is done. Doesn't change the fact that it was an amazing performance. I could only imagine the amount of energy and creativity and work that went into making that thing a reality. It's one thing to have these far-fetched sci-fi ideas, and it's another thing to realize them in the real world. I was actually surprised when Penn had mentioned black arts because I hadn't considered that, but Florian said that only answers for about 10% of the performance. Anyway, I don't want to repeat myself. One more thing I could say is that part where he kind of starts walking up in the air like he's just levitating. I do personally have a really good idea how that's done, and all I can say is that maybe you've seen these street performers, these street artists who do something similar. Sometimes they'll dress up as like a Buddhist monk with like a staff and they're just kind of like levitating in the street while people walk by and throw money in the cup. Anyways, I've seen different variations of this kind of thing, but it's amazing that Florian has his whole construct or his whole setup so that he can get into that and get out of it while performing. Anything else? I don't know. That was just clearly amazing and a fantastic performance. And if you remember from the beginning of this video, I asked you a random question and I answered the first half. What book has impacted you more than any other? So if you see a lot of people commenting about books down below and you don't know why, that's because you skipped past the beginning. How could you? I'm offended. Anyway, So my first book I answered at the beginning. The second book that has greatly impacted me. Number 2, Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success. And specifically, the one key takeaway I had from that was that you are the author of your life. There's no one else that's going to do it for you. It's up to you. Life is not some story that you're just a character in. If you don't like how things are going, you're the author. Decide how you want the story to end. So go ahead and leave a comment below. I am interested in hearing which books impacted you the most, and if you can explain briefly, like I did, why those books impacted you or your key takeaways from them. And now, what you've all been waiting for. It's time for the interview. If you don't mind, to please go ahead and annihilate the like button right now before you forget. And here we go. Hey Florian, how's it going?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So are you in France right now?
Yeah, at home. Like a lot of magicians, we stay at home.
Yeah. By the way, I just saw your act, just finished reacting to it, and it was amazing. It really kind of blew my mind. I saw a brief concept of what it was about, and I tried to avoid watching it until this video, and it exceeded my expectations. It was just so creative.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask you, this isn't really magic, but I noticed that you do have a skill for dancing the robot in your video. And do you have any advice for those of us who want to try to learn that someday?
When I did some shows, I saw many dancers do popping and locking. It's the kind of dance. And I really fell in love for it. And when I saw them on stage, it was so entertaining to see them to dance like a robot. So I decided to mix dance and magic. And to learn it, I saw many videos on YouTube about how to do the wave, the lock-in. And also like you, I did a lot of workouts because to do some lock-in, you have to use muscle. And the more you have muscle, easier it is. So I just learned it by YouTube, some tutorial and practice a lot.
Wow, that's great. I remember, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, I saw some advertisement for a How to Dance the Robot DVD, and I bought it and it was sent to me and it was pretty terrible. So I should have just gone the YouTube route like you.
Yeah, it takes time, it takes many times, but I think with time you can do everything, but you need to practice regularly.
Yeah, so has dance been a hobby of yours or a passion of yours before being a magician, or?
No, really no. I'm a really bad dancer. I think I'm the worst dancer in the world, but I just learned how to move like a robot.
Okay, well, you fooled me and that as well, because I would assume that you're a good dancer. So I wanted to talk about how in the intro for Fool Us, they mentioned that you were doing graphic design, and I mean, it's very obvious. It shows because your act is so visual. And have you been doing graphic design a long time?
Yeah, I do graphic design since many years. I did my studies on graphic design, and at the beginning, my future was to become a graphic designer. But when I did French Got Talent, I became magician professional, so I stopped the graphic design.
Wow, okay. So you studied graphic design, and then after France Got Talent, after you stepped off that stage, you're like, no, this is it. I'm going to be all in on magic.
Yeah, exactly. It was a drug for me. When you try the stage, you can stop then.
So I do want to ask you, Florian, about your act, because as I was reviewing it, I was looking through trying to find a good screenshot to represent this video, like a good thumbnail for YouTube. And as I was going through there, I looking at it again, I appreciated wow, you put a lot of detail into this. Even when the camera zooms in on your shoe and it's lighting up green, it looks beautiful. And I'm just wondering can you tell us some behind the scenes stuff about this, and how long did you spend creating this? It seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah, I worked on it during 10 years, because also when I begin this act, I was beginning magic too. So years after year, you have more skills, and also 1 year you create your own techniques. Because when you do competition like FISM, the World Championship of Magic, you must create new techniques if you want to fool magicians. This is the reason why it takes 10 years to finish this act, because
I really wanted to do a good act for the audience, but also for magicians, because magicians really love to be fooled. So I think I took my time for magicians.
And this was the FISM act for 2018?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is the one I won the FISM Korea in manipulation with this one.
So if you started building this as you were getting into magic like 10 years ago, I imagine that there were certain moves during the routine that you upgraded as you learned more.
Yeah, this is incredible because during these 10 years I did many gala shows, and sometimes it's with the same artist, and they saw my act be different gala after gala show, and every time I arrived on the gala show and say, oh, I have a new version, because I never stopped to upgrade it.
And did you design, graphic design, but did you actually build the costume yourself, or you had like a builder make that for you?
As you know, my girlfriend is Leah Kyle, and she does sewing, so yes, I designed it and she made it for me, because also we need to put the magic part inside, so she did everything for me. And also I had an engineer for the electronic part of my act, and my brother did the platform and the levitation at the end. We worked together during 2 years to create this levitation. So it's like a family team for this act.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Do you have the costume with you there, like in your house? Do you sometimes just put it on, go walking through the neighborhood?
No, I can't. No, I just put my costume for the act. The costume is really heavy, and there is many layers of fabric. I have one like this, another one, and it's very hot. And also when I perform on stage it's always hot, but with the costume it's awful. But it's just 6 minutes, so it's okay.
Yeah, so not even for Halloween, that wouldn't be comfortable.
No.
During the interview, I think it was Allison asked you about your inspiration, and it came up that several movies had inspired you in the creation of this act, but the movies were not named. So I want to make my guess, and you tell me if I'm correct. So the movies I thought maybe you were influenced would be, The Matrix, maybe Tron, and then perhaps
Tron is the one who changed completely my style on stage. Tron, yes, because at the beginning I really had a costume like Tron. You know, Tron, it's black with many line in blue like this, and I had this in green. But I decided to change a little bit, because if people see you performing on stage and they see that this is the same costume of Tron, you're like someone who liked the movie, and it's not just you, it's you in the costume of Tron. So I decided to change it a little bit to make it more personal. As you know, I do CD manipulation, but CD year by year is a very old object, because we don't use CD anymore. So my idea is to use CD, but not like a CD music or a DVD, like an electronic part of me. It represents nothing and something of my costume.
Yeah, it's just like a glowing bright shape. It's just an abstract thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And my third guess on the movie was going to be, I don't even remember the name of it, but I think in the 80s there was a Michael Jackson movie, something like Moonraker or Moonwalker, where he turned into a robot. No, this one. No? Okay, so more Tron.
No, but another one is, I pronounce it in French, but Interstellar.
Interstellar, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I do the Illusionist tour in the world, and when I create this act for FISM, I just had 1 month and a half to finish my act, so I didn't put everything because I didn't have enough time to create. But at the end, when I do the levitation, the idea was to have CDs who levitate on the floor like this.
Like picking up off the floor here.
Yeah, like we're on the moon. It was the idea on the space, but I didn't have enough time, so it was too dangerous for me to do at the last time an effect like this.
That's a fantastic idea. I love the concept of like suddenly the gravity is being reduced and everything is...
Yeah, it was the idea, but for next time maybe.
That's super cool. I kind of got the feeling when I was watching your act that you had these crazy ideas of how you wanted it to look, and then you didn't let reality stop you. You just proceeded to make it all happen.
Yeah, but because also I have a team with me, so the engineer, my brother, my girlfriend. So when you think about something and it seems like it's impossible, it's good to have a team, because when you talk about it with people, sometimes someone find a solution, or they are just also motivation. And for me, when we feel that it's impossible, this is the good direction, because it's the only solution to make something new and strong. But for me, I think to make good magic, many magicians try to be the best, and they forgot that the best magician are the most different magician. If I create something really different, I don't know, I do a manipulation with a vape. I can be compared with Eugene because this is different, and I will be the best at vape manipulation because there is nobody. So I think for me, when we want to create something, just try to take another direction and not try to be more far than the other. This is really easier, and to have an original act, this is what we need to do.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh, and I just want to ask real quick, as far as the storyline for your robot dream act, the way I kind of saw it was like he was a robot, he was trapped, and he kind of becomes conscious and breaks free. Is that how you intended it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And these when he's kind of... Somehow I even kind of thought about like Super Mario Brothers when I saw these little rings appearing. It was kind of like ka-ching, ka-ching.
Oh yeah, it can be a video game, yeah. I jump and boom. No, it was not from this. It's
Yeah, I really liked how you had that animation of like the rings kind of going down the arm, and as they get closer to your hand, and then it materializes, and it happens again and again, and each time you're just like this thing just blinks into existence, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, I think that the effect is strong because there is the LED. Many act with cards, where the magician has one card here, nothing here, he make it disappear, and it arrives here. So I imagined what can be this effect in 1,000 years. When the old magician did it with cards, make it vanish and appears, they tell to the audience that the card is flying invisibly and stop here. But the audience doesn't see it. My idea, it was that the audience can follow the movement of the object. So this is the reason why I make it disappear and LED, because I don't have to do this with my head, because there is nothing here. Many magicians, they do it, but it's a little bit stupid, because there is nothing. They make a card disappear, they are like, but there is nothing to see. So I decided to prove that the object moves with my arm. And I think this is more magic like this.
Yeah, and you're a robot, so like you're not gonna look up at it anyway. You already know it's there. You're just like
also yeah.
All right, Florian. So we made it to the end of the interview, and now, if you would like, we can read and interpret an Aesop's fable. What do you think?
Yes, let's try it.
Okay. Again, this is going to be in Old English, so we might need to translate some of the words. Let's pick one randomly. Chapter 23. This is The Mistress and Her Servants. A widow, thrifty and industrious, had 2 servants, whom she kept pretty hard at work. They were not allowed to lie long abed in the mornings, but the old lady had them up and doing as soon as the cock crew. Like as soon as the rooster was like, cock-a-doodle-doo, in the morning the servants were working. They disliked intensely having to get up at such an hour, especially in the winter time, and they thought that if it were not for the cock waking up their mistress so horribly early, they could sleep longer. So they caught it and wrung its neck, like they killed it by the neck. But they weren't prepared for the consequences, For what happened was that their mistress, not hearing the cock crow as usual, waked them up earlier than ever and set them to work in the middle of the night. And that's the end of the story.
Okay.
So what can we learn about this? Is there a lesson for us?
I don't know. I'm vegan, so it's not a good story for me.
You're vegan? Okay.
It's true, I'm vegan, but I also eat meat sometimes when I with family and friends.
When nobody's
But
looking.
This is funny for you to tell this story with a diet cook.
So they thought that they were going to improve their situation by being like sneaky and going behind her back and killing this chicken, rooster, whatever. But the reality was that it made the situation worse because she started waking them up earlier to do even more work.
Yeah, sometimes little bad things are more positive impact in the life than to stop it. I don't know how to explain it.
I guess even sometimes you try to change things up to improve them, and it might go the opposite way. Like things might get worse. So you need to consider, like, is it really a good idea to make this change that you're considering?
Yeah, we can apply it to magic also. Yeah, because imagine I have a costume, I do my life with it, and it works very good, but the design is not the best one. I made a new one, but when I use it, because the fabric is different, I have many problems with the technique. It's the same thing. So sometimes you just have one bad things, but everything around it is good, but you are just focused. Oh, that's it. Because we are just focused on the things bad.
Yeah, that's a great interpretation. Yeah, because if somehow you were able to, like a person in general was able to see all the good aspects of that costume, then they wouldn't have considered changing it to a different type of material or whatever.
Because I say it because I did this mistake.
Yeah.
I did it, yeah. I had the costume, everything was very good. I changed for the design at the last moment. It was horrible. It was impossible for me to do my art well. And I wanted to die on stage. Honestly, it was awful. So I think that for this story, it's with one thing, there is many good things, but we are just looking at the bad points.
Yes.
And we forget that there is many good things around it.
Exactly. So we can say, remember to be thankful, to focus on the good aspects of life, and also to see the whole picture. Realize the domino effect that making this one change could have. But you had that costume, you made the new one, you killed the rooster, and then you made another new one. So it's kind of like if you were in the story, you would kill the rooster and you would replace it with a new rooster.
No, I will restore the neck of the... Yeah, but this is true. Yeah, I don't know what will be the next step of this story with me, but for my costume, it was I learned about my mistakes.
Very cool. I think that was some stories are easier to interpret than others, and this one was giving me a little trouble. I'm glad that you found a good thing to hold on to there.
Good. Yeah.
By the way, if you would like to follow Florian, make sure to check out his Facebook page as well as his Instagram. You can follow what he's up to on there, and he's performing magic as well. Links to both of these will be in the description below. And thank you very much, Florian, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. It was a pleasure for me. It was really interesting to talk with you. Thank you very much.
How do you want to disappear from here? Do you want to snap off? Do you want to just fade to black? How do you want to disappear?
Like this. Bye-bye.